Hello, what's up everybody? How is it going? Welcome to another video of tutorial series Learning Codeigniter from Scratch. I'm your host Anwar Ali and I'm here today with a new topic, and the topic is creating an admin panel for listing the news, adding news, editing news, deleting news, and also continuing with the same topic that we stopped last video. So in last video we covered we created an admin panel. Whenever we type in /admin with our base URL, it will take us to an admin panel with the login section, and if we are not yet logged in it and the login form appears, and if we are all logged in, it redirects us to dashboard. Alright, so we handle the session in such a way that if we are already logged in, it takes me to dashboard, and in the dashboard, if we are not logged in, it automatically takes me to the login page. So let us just demonstrate. Admin, my password was 123456. If I log in, it takes me to dashboard. Now if I try to go to login again, it takes me back to the dashboard because I'm already logged in. So today let us just create a simple dashboard where we have an option to log out, which we missed last time, and we'll also create a panel where we can list modules, where we can add new, list the news, where we can add new news, where we can edit the existing news and delete the existing news. So I thought it would be better to use some designs, Bootstrap Design. So if you go to getbootstrap.com and go to documentation, and just you can search for nav. If you search for nav, or maybe navbar, so it should be inside components navbar. Okay, so if you go to navbar section, you will see some predefined design for you. So you can just copy the design from here till the end, copy it and paste it in the dashboard. This was the dashboard that we did last time. So I'll just replace this with a simple HTML page. Let us give the title admin dashboard. Inside the body, the first thing that we want to do is display our navigation, right? So display the navigation here. Maybe we can edit some of the stuffs, like let us see if our dashboard got the navigation. It will not, because we have not linked our Bootstrap yet. So let us just link our Bootstrap. In order to do that, I'll just link, and in our href I will echo the site URL of the Bootstrap CSS, which is inside Bootstrap. So site URL bootstrap /dist/css/bootstrap.css. Similarly, in order to make some drop down work, we also need to include the JS, Bootstrap JS, but before the Bootstrap we also need jQuery JS. So I've already opened the link. This is the link that I need to copy. So let me just copy the link, and I'll just provide it in the script source, and my source would be jQuery.com. okay, so this is the source for jQuery. Now I need to link my Bootstrap JS, which is exactly same as this link. src equals to this link, except my JS CSS should be replaced by JS for the JavaScript. Now I think we are ready with the Bootstrap design. Let me just check it, and you can see that my design is all good. Let us just replace the navbar with some other brand, and also replace these links with what we need. So I would like to replace navbar with, let's say, just admin, and instead of home, let me just put dashboard, and instead of link, let us just create a news module here, so that this should point to the news module, where we can list the news, add news, edit news, delete news. We can also use drop down for, let's say, profile, where an admin can edit their username, password, email, anything. So let us just call it settings, where they can change their desired information. And we can also have a log out option over here, and rest of all is, I don't think that's too necessary, so let me just remove this. I don't need this last link. We can use the form for search in order to search the news, but if you want you can keep it, if you want you can just remove it. So let me just keep it for a while. Now you can see that we have admin, dashboard, news. Inside profile we have settings and logout. So perfect. So first thing, let us make our logout work. So once we hit on logout, our session should now be destroyed and we should be taken back to the login page. Okay, so let us just create a quick link for logout. So in order to log out, let's say we will redirect the user to echo site underscore URL and to dashboard slash logout. So once the user goes to dashboard slash logout, we'll destroy their session, and it should also have admin in front of it because it's inside admin folder. So admin dashboard logout. So let's quickly create the function for logout. So function logout inside the dashboard, and what we'll be doing here, we will be just destroying the session admin. Now in order to destroy the session, there's a simple function in Codeigniter, and that is this session ses underscore destroy. Okay, and my session name is admin, so it will destroy the session called, or I don't need to mention because this will just destroy the entire session. Okay, so this session ses underscore destroy. So once we've done that, we can redirect the user back to login. So it should be admin. So admin is pointed to the admin login index, as you can see in our routes that we did last time. So application, config, and routes, you see admin is pointed to admin login index. So this will take us to, so after we hit on logout, it will take us to admin dashboard logout, which is here. And admin dashboard logout, it destroys all the session and redirect us back to the admin login page. Let's see if it works or not. Refresh this, profile, logout. It destroyed the session and took me back to the login page. Now if I try to go to dashboard again, it will take me back to the login because I am not yet logged in. Now if I log in, it will take me back to the dashboard. So this means our login and logout is now working fine. Now let us go back to the news page. For dashboard, we can just have a welcome message over here. So let us quickly make our link for the dashboard work. So our dashboard should point to admin dashboard. So echo site underscore URL, and it should point us to admin slash dashboard, right? So let us refresh this. If you click on dashboard, now it is taken to admin dashboard. Now I want to make my news work. So if I click on news, it will take me to the news listing page. But before that, I want to make this header consistent for each and every page. So I will divide my page into header, footer, and the body. So our main part of the body will start from, let's say, after the nav ends. So what we can do is we can just have a div class equals to container here to bring our content in the middle. So all the part from the here to here should belong to header, as this should repeat in each and every page. So what I'll do is I will create a file called header inside admin panel. So this is the header for admin, not for the front end. So Control S, header.php. I've created header.php inside admin. Okay, so my header.php will include this, and my footer.php will include this, and whatever I want to do inside body, I'll just type in here. So and my footer.php should be in a new file called footer.php. So footer.php inside admin folder. Oops, I did it in controller, so it should be in views, right? So let me just paste it and move it from here. So go back to SSD application amps www from my CI application controllers. I need to move these two files from admin footer and header to my view file, which is inside views admin header and footer. So just paste it over here. Okay, so we have our header, we have our footer. Just remove these files, so I will open these files now. So we have our header and we have our footer. Now in the dashboard we can load these two files this way. So this load view header, which is inside admin folder, so admin / header. Similarly, we can have our footer and in the end, which is this admin footer. Okay, and in the middle I can just have a heading that says dashboard, and below it I can have a paragraph tag that says welcome admin. Okay, so this is for the dashboard. So we have saved our dashboard. Let me just refresh this, check to see if everything is working fine. Yes, so dashboard is here and everything is looking good. Okay, the second thing what I want to do is I want to create a panel for news. So what I want to do, first of all, I would like to create a controller called news for admin. So news controller news.php, create a class for this. So class news extends ci underscore controller. Secondly, what I want to do is inside I would like to create a constructor function underscore construct, and inside my constructor I would like to check if the session does not exist. I want to take the user back to the login page because I don't want anybody who is not logged in to access this module. So what I want to do is, just like in dashboard, I want this function, these two things to be here. So parent underscore construct, this should always be there when we have a constructor, and I want to check if the session does not exist. I want to redirect the user back to the login page. Okay, now in my index function I want to grab all the news from the database and list it in the view file. So this is a new topic for us, how to grab the content from the database and send it to the view, right? So in order to do that, let us first quickly create our table for the news, php myadmin, and I already have a table which I want to copy to my CI database. We only have a table called admins, but inside my PHP specials I have a table called news which I can copy to CI. So in order to do that, I'll just click on operations and copy table to database CI news. Go. Wait a minute, let me just quickly do something. So operation, delete the table. Okay, I would like to go to the news of PHP specials operations. I want to copy this to CI underscore news. I want to copy structure and data, and at the same time I want to add the auto increments for the ID. And is there anything else? Nothing. Okay, go. So everything is copied to the news. Now we have a news table. Now what we can do is I want to list these news to my news module. So firstly I need to grab the data from the database and send it to the news, right? So in order to do that, as I already told, we have to create a model in order to communicate with the database. So what we can do, just like we create the admin model, we will create a news model. Control S, news.php, or we can also have like the name news underscore model.php, because I don't want two classes to be of same name. We already have a controller called news.php, so I don't want to have a model with the same name, so I just added underscore model.php. So save. Now what I want to do is I want to create a class news underscore model extends ci underscore model. M should be capital. Now what I'll do here is I want to create a function that will grab all the entries from this database and return it. So in order to do that, I'll just write some functions. So this db get, so in in the previous video, if you see our admin.php admin model, what we did was, so we use a function called gateway because we also had some conditions, right? Our condition was where username equals to this username and the password was this password. So we had a condition where username equals this username and password equals this password. So we used a function called get underscore where. But right now we don't have any condition, so we don't need to use get underscore where. Rather, we can only use the function called get and pass the table name over here, and our table name is news. So this means actually select all from table news. Okay. Now, now as I told you last time, in admin.php you can see I used a function called row because this was returning a single entry. But now in our case, since we have multiple news in the database, we will not be using row, rather we'll be using result. In order to return multiple entries, we'll be using result, and in order to return single entry, we'll be using row. So I'm using result and I'm assigning this to, or let us say I'm just first of all I need to create a function. I missed a function, so function, let's say get all. Okay, I'm creating a function called get all where I'm grabbing the result from the news and returning it. Okay, now I need to call this function from my controller. So in order to do that, I need to load the model first. So this load model, and my model would be news underscore model, right? As I told you last time, in order to load the model, we need to use the lowercase. So this news underscore model. Now I want to call the function get all of news model, which is this function. So I will just call the function this way, get all. So this means call the function get all of news underscore model inside index.php. So in order to call the in order to use the function get all of news model, I need to load the model first. So after loading the model, it means we have included the model inside our controller. Now we can use it. Okay, so I'm using the function called get all of news model, and since it is returning some data, the result, all the result from the table, so I need to assign it to some variable, like let's say news. So I'm grabbing all the news and assigning it to the news. Now in order to pass this news to the view, it should not be in the format of variable, rather it should be in the format of array. So what I can do, I can just use the array called data, okay, and I can pass this array to the view by just loading the view. First of all, this load view, and we can create a view called news inside admin folder. So admin / news, so my view file will be news. Now in order to pass this data to the view file, what I want to have to do is I just need to pass it as a second parameter this way. So comma $data. So I'm passing the entire array to the view. Now the amazing thing inside view is once you pass an array to the view, now you don't have to use this array in the view, rather you can use index as a variable. So while using this data in the view, you can just use the index, and this index will behave as a variable. For example, what we can do is, let me just comment this for a while and I'll just create an array $data x equals to 2, and I'm passing this x to admin news. So let me create admin news first of all. So inside my admin, I want to create a new view called news.php. Just like we included our header and footer inside dashboard, I would like to do the same inside news.php. So my header is here, my footer is here, and my heading would be news, and my paragraph, I just want to print out the value that I just passed from my controller to my view, which is data, right? So I'm passing, I just want to assign some value to x, which can be 5 for now. So I'm passing 5 to x. So my data x has 5, and I'm passing data to the news. Now in order to grab this value in the view, we don't need to use data in the view file, rather we can just use the index. So what we can do here is we can just use the index, which is x, so echo $x will give us 5. So let's just quickly check this if everything is working fine. So if I click on news, I have not yet modified the anchor in the header. So for the news, there is news, dashboard news. So PHP echo site underscore URL, and my URL for the news is admin/news, right? So news is my controller, so admin/news will take me to admin news index. Refresh this, click on news. Now we have admin news, and you can see 5 is being printed. Why? Because from the controller we are passing data x equals to 5 to the news by passing the entire data through the view file news, and inside my news I am using the index as a variable, and whatever is being passed through an array, that value is assigned to its index as a variable for the view file. So you can see in the index x we have 5, and while you pass the data to the view file, we can use x instead of the entire data. Similarly, while passing the entire news to the view file, we don't need to, we can just have an index called news and pass the data to the view file, and now we can use this variable news inside our view file. So let's just try to var dump the news, var dump $news, to check to see what is the format of array or anything that we are getting. Okay, so if you just refresh this, you can see I'm getting an array with a length of 6. Why? Because you can see here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 entries in my table, so it is returning entire entries in the format of array with 6, which is 6 in number. So 0th index has an object which has ID 1, title, this description is here, and everything else is there, right? So author, everything is there. So we are getting 6 entries in the format of array. So in order to process this array, what we can do is we can just use the for each loop, right? So let us just display these news inside our table. So my table, let me create a table first of all. Let me give some class to the table. So class equals to table dash border, and my tr can have few labels like title. So td, or let us give th for heading, and title, and I would like to have an action for edit and delete. So title and action. Okay, let's check to see if our table is looking all good. So inside our news we have a table with title and action. So I want to give another class called table to make it 100% width. Let's see. So we have a title and action over here. So we list the news title over here and action over here. We can also have author name. Since our table also has author, we can have title, author, and action. So title, author, and action. Okay, so let us display our title first of all. So now in order to display each and every entries in the table, we can just use for each loop. So for each dollar, since we're passing the index as news, so we can use news as $n. We can display the tr, and the first td will have the title of the news. And since we saw that the 6 entries were passed in array, and each array had objects of title, id, author, description, so we need to display the title as echo $n arrow, because it was sent as object. The 6 array which we are looping has a set of object inside it, so it should be accessed via arrow. So title will be here. So title and author, and we need two buttons for this should be for edit and delete, right? So anchor, first anchor for edit, which should be edit, and second anchor after a space for delete, so it should be delete, right? Let us see if we got everything correctly. Okay, author is not recognized. Let us see what is here. So title, description, AUTHOR, so it's capital, that's why. So let us refresh this. Now you can see everything is working fine. Let us just give some classes to these anchors to make it look a little bit beautiful. So class equals to btn dash primary. So class equals to btn dash danger. Now let's try to refresh this, and you can see that we have two buttons with blue and red background. So this is for primary and this is for danger. So we have listed our news as we want. So as you can see that these 6 entries were being sent as array. So the first thing that we did is in order to process those all entries, we use for each loop. So in each loop we get an array, and each array had title, description, ID, author in the format of object. So instead of using index, we use arrow. Instead of using the format of array, we use arrow as the format of object, because the ID, if you again try to var dump the news, let us see, var dump $news, you will see, just to make things clear, why we used array and why we use for each loop. So you can see that the first 6 entries are being sent as array. So in order to process that array, we use for each loop. Now in each loop, for example in 0th index, we have objects. So each index here is in the format of object. So ID is in the format of object, title is in the format of object. Okay, so description is the index of an object. So now instead of using array, we are using arrow here, because each and every entry is being returned in object. Now what if you don't want to mess with objects and arrows? We can just use, while returning the data as result, if you just type result underscore array, now it will return each and every entry in the format of array. So if you just refresh now, you will see now we have array inside of array instead of object inside of object. Now because we are returning the result as array now, so instead of, if you are using array, now you don't have to use arrow, rather you have to use array this way. So title this way, because we are returning the result in array. But for now I just want to use object, so I'm just returning it as result. Okay, refresh this. Let me remove the dump, which is here, comment it. Now let's just try to refresh this again. You can see the news are being listed. Now we can also have a link called add news here, just below above the table, and we shall make it work tomorrow. So once we click on the add new news, it should show us a form that will allow us to entry the title, author and description of the news. And in coming videos we'll also work out on editing and deleting of the news. So I think that's it for today. We have learned how to use the controller in order to, how to create a new controller for news, how to make it work, how to make these anchors point to the exact place that we want. We created different views for different modules. We made the logout work, and today we also learn how to grab the entries from the database as a result and display it in the view file in such a listing. So we have completed the listing. Tomorrow I will cover the add news and maybe even if we get time, we will also try to cover edit and delete. So that's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow with the new topic. Till then, I hope you will try to work out with what we have discussed today. So have a nice time till then. I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.